Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric from Moss Pawn and Gun, and today we're going to be doing a very basic little ammo test here for the 7.62 by 54 rimmed for the Mosin Nagant. We got several loads here we're going to be testing today. We've got a customer's custom Mosin that we put together for him that we're going to be test firing today as well. We have shot it a little bit, and the preliminary accuracy is quite promising, so this should give us a pretty strong idea of which one of these loads that we can expect to get any kind of good accuracy out of. Down here on my left, we've got the S&B 180 grain soft point. It's a brass case, boxer prime load, reloadable. We've got the 174 grain S&B match load, boxer prime, reloadable brass. We got the PPU 182 grain match load, again, boxer prime, reloadable. And then we've moved on here. I've got, this is actually my little pet load. It's the Barnaul 203 grain soft point. It's loaded in a lacquer coated steel case that is Burdan primed. But I tell you what, pound for pound and dollar for dollar, this is an excellent shooting little load. Now what we've got also is a few other loads from Barnaul, and they are marketed under the Silver and Brown Bear name, okay? They make this in a soft point in a 203 in a bimetal or a zinc plated steel case. And then they also load, get over there, they also load what they call a 174 grain match load in a steel case. So we're going to be trying a few out. We're going to shoot all the different loads you see here, but we're likely only going to include in the video the ones that shot the best. So in other words, if I shoot one of these loads and it does really crummy, we'll put a note in there to let you know how it did, but we're not going to bother wasting your time looking at the groups. We want to see which one of these factory available current production loads shoot the best out of this rifle. So let's get started. All the groups today are going to be fired from 100 yards off a bench rest. All right, we're going to start off with the soft point 203 load from Barnaul. See how she does. I'm going to do one more group with the 203s because we got a real nice string there. I just want to make sure that I didn't pull that last round. So we're going to shoot one more group with the 203s. This is a very consistent round. The nice thing about this particular load is that it is a boat tail round and it shoots really good, but it's a soft point. So you can use it for hunting or you can target shoot with it. And the nice thing about it is that it's cheap enough to where you can target shoot or hunt with it, and you're not out a lot of money. One more group. Now, that's what we're talking about. That's the kind of accuracy you want to see out of a little rig like this. With all the work that's been put into it, that is showing a lot of promise. That's exactly what we're looking for. This just proves my theory that the 203 you don't play around with. So I'm going to tell you right now, this load right here is a keeper. For consistency's sake, we're going to shoot the Barnaul 203 that is packaged in the Silver Bear box. So let's try that out, just so we can get an idea. See, even though this is a 203 grain projectile, the recoil is very sedate. One thing about the Mosin is that it prefers a short barrel, a short stiff barrel with a fast twist. It's got a 1 9.5 inch twist, and it likes a long bullet with a long bearing surface. Let's try the Silver Bear and see if it shoots as good as the other box, the way it's branded. We're getting a little bit of horizontal stringing with that load, we're going to try one more group just to make sure that it's not me or anything like that. That load definitely shows promise. So far, I still think my go-to load is this other Barnaul. We're going to try one more group just for consistency's sake. Both of those loads, or both of those groups, are exhibiting some horizontal stringing. Could just be the nature of that load, but it did it consistently. So that tells me that it's the load, okay, not the gun. So far we can definitely tell that the 203 Barnaul load that's in this packaging is excellent. We're going to move on to try some of the Boxer Prime variants, which I'm sure most of you are probably going to prefer to use this type of load because you want to be able to reload your brass. I mean, I understand that ammo availability is a little bit spotty right now. You'll notice today that we're not testing any surplus ammunition, and that's because for this particular test, I mean, we kind of want to see what the most accurate load is. Surplus ammo can be made to shoot good. Oftentimes it does shoot quite well, but that's not really what we're here to test today. We're going to do a surplus ammunition test in a future video. This is for non-corrosive, commercially available lots of ammo. All right, we're going to shoot the PPU 182 grain match, Boxer Prime reloadable. Give her a little try here, see how it does. All right, out of that group, we had a extreme flyer, and then we stacked two right on top of each other. So we're going to try one more group just to make sure that we're not having any issues with the rifle or me or anything like that. Remember, the point of grouping guns off the bench is that you want to try to remove all the variables from the equation. So let's try one more. Not what I would consider a horrible group by any means. Definitely gives some potential to, work off of that accuracy, increase that a little bit. That's the Privy Partisan load. Let's go ahead and try the S&B load. It's a 174 grain. Try that out and see how it does. Nice thing about these is at least they're Boxer primed and reloadable, so you can always reload them and try them later. One of my favorite loads for the Mosin is 180 grain soft point Sierra Game King on a pretty stout charge of Varget. Does a pretty good job. I've also used the 174 grain 311 diameter Match Kings, and they shoot quite well. Let's move on to the 174s, see how they do. All right, people, that's a group, okay? That's a group. Those three shots right there landed on about the size of a dime. So that right there, that's what you're looking for. That's the kind of accuracy. That's the S&B 174 grain match load in this red box. Shoots pretty good. Shoots better than the 203, which is pretty surprising because so far in my Mosin Sporter, the pet load that I found for it is the 203 grain load. Just for consistency's sake, we're going to go ahead and shoot one more group with this load just to make sure I didn't just get lucky. Let's make sure it's consistent. All right, the 174 grain match load shot amazing. You'll see a couple of the groups there in the target cam, and then also probably in some B-roll. That load right there is kick ass, okay? So right now, I would say for long distance or target shooting, right now the winner so far is the 174 grain S&B match. Our first group was about the size of a dime for 3 shots. And the second group, we had one distant flyer. I mean, it brought the group out to maybe a half a minute, which is excellent. I mean, we're talking half-minute accuracy out of a Mosin with that load. So that's amazing accuracy. We're gonna try the 180 grain S&B soft point. I'm a big fan of using soft points for hunting, obviously, but we're gonna try them just for consistency's sake. One of the top performers out of my other Mosin sporter that I built, that we built last year, was the Full Metal Jacket 180 grain Winchester load, the Winchester white box. I didn't have any of that ammunition available for the video, but it is an excellent load. It shoots great. So we're gonna try the 180s and just see if maybe this particular twist and barrel length tends to like that weight of bullet. It seems to like between a 180 to a 203, and then of course we see as light as the 174, it really eats that up just fine too. Let's try the 180s and see how they shoot. So far I'm really impressed with this rig. It's shooting good. I think we're gonna have a very happy customer here. I don't think we need to go any further with that particular load. I think that gives you a pretty strong indication of the accuracy potential. We probably got about a 3/4 of an inch group, a little bit of stringing with that one, but we can see that the 180 grain soft point from S&B would be an excellent hunting load. The hunting accuracy is definitely there. That is an awesome little setup. We will shoot a few of these match loads and the 203s at 440 in just a little while. Just for consistency's sake, we are going to shoot one more of the Barnaul loads just to make sure everything's up to snuff with those. All right, with that particular load, we are exhibiting some severe stringing. We're going to shoot one more group just to make sure that it's not me or anything like that. If this next group strings, then that'll give us a pretty strong indicator that it could just be the load. Now, this is really why you do ammunition testing of various sorts, because you just never know. I mean, no matter what a brand or type of ammunition is advertised as being guaranteed to do, it really doesn't matter what it says it's going to do. What it matters is what it's going to do. So you just never know. You got to get out there and try it. Let's try one more group, and then we're going to move up to the 440 mark. See what this little guy can really do. All right, on that particular load, we saw that we got pretty much the exact same amount of vertical stringing with both groups, which tells me that it is some form of combination of the gun and ammunition, which I'm assuming, judging by how well the 174 and the S&B shot, that it's got to be the ammunition. That's the only other variable, okay? So we see that some of the ammo will string, some of it will group good. The only real way to know exactly what's going to happen with a given lot of ammunition is to take it out and test it in a consistent and somewhat scientific manner. I mean, that's why you bench rest a firearm, so you're removing all the variables from the equation. You know, this is to test the ammunition and the rifle. You know, the rifle has to be able to deliver the goods. All right, we saw that with the 174 grain load, we did get some very consistent accuracy, 2 groups in a row, so we know that the gun is capable of delivering the goods if the ammunition is up to snuff. So we're going to take the best shooting loads from these groups. We're going to run out to 440, and we'll see how it does. All right, we've moved our little Mosin here back to 440, 400 meters, 440 yards. We're gonna try some of the S&B match that was grouping so good. Hopefully the 0 is still good for this distance. And let's just see what kind of accuracy potential we can expect here.
That hit it at 9 o'clock. That hit it dead center. Hoorah, dead center. That got it at 7 o'clock. 6 o'clock.
All right, Chad is gonna run the 174 grain match. We think we got the gun hitting about where we want it. See how well Chad does, and I'm gonna spot for him. Good shot. Great. Dead center. All right, the 180 soft point from S&B seemed to do pretty good. Let's see if we can get a few rounds of it to connect with the gong. Well, that 180 grain's pretty consistent.
It is.
Puts them right in there. You know, out of my other sporter, the Full Metal Jacket 180 grain load was the one that tended to shoot pretty dang good. So I'm thinking these Mosins across the board for long range work, they're gonna prefer a 180, 174 in that ballpark. I think it's gonna be pretty safe to say. Well, we found that the little gun seems to work out real nicely, so hopefully our customer will be happy with this. The whole point of this video was for us to film an accuracy test of this ammunition. Should give you a pretty strong idea of what each load is capable of. We appreciate you watching. I know this video was a little long, but hopefully the data is solid and it's there. And we will have more videos like this coming down the pipeline for you guys to check out. We appreciate you watching, and have a good week.